Can Laporta actually afford this dude? So apparently they've met. So it's what's been reported. Shout out to your boy Fab. So more on Nico Williams and Barca. The agent has met with the Barca director Deco today. Face-to-face meeting took place in Zaragoza, as called by Gerard Romero and Gigantes FC. Barca have made the proposal to Nico, trying to agree on personal terms before Premier League clubs. So it's now real. They're now active. They're now trying to see what's up. But I think the question that everyone asks is, how are these dudes going to afford this? So before we really get there, let's be real. He was one of the stars of the Euros. I mean, he was absolutely amazing, outstanding. And you see, before the Euros, all people knew was, oh yeah, there's this pretty good winger, skillful kid who plays for Athletic Bilbao. But Athletic Bilbao are not really in the UCL. They don't really go in for La Liga titles, but I believe they won the Copa del Rey. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe they won the Copa del Rey. Did they score in the final? But because they're not winning La Ligas, because they're not really in the public eye of the UCL, it's very easy to go under the radar. But I knew of this kid, and I was seeing highlights of this kid, and I was like, no, this guy is pretty damn good. But what you need is a massive platform. And there's no bigger platform than the European Championships. Well, the only thing bigger than the European Championships is the World Cup. So all eyes were on him, and he was superb. He was amazing all the way through every single game. He was cooking defenders, and he really brought back why we love football, which is ISO, 1v1, show 'em leg, tesh, lala, tata football. And, bro, I think scoring in a final is actually pretty good. I think that does something. So scoring in a final, really, that's pretty much putting him out there as, I'm not only a quality player, I not only have a high eye test score, but I'm also a big game player. And there is no bigger game than a freaking final. That is the biggest game you can have in a freaking tournament. So I mean, then the whole idea is, oh, bro, let this guy cook. And one of the big things about this is why it's making Barca fans very excited is their link up. So you see, I'll give you an example here. Good. So Dwight York and Andy Cole. These were two players who played for Man United back really in the 90s. And they, for me, had probably one of the most telepathic partnerships ever seen. And I think a big reason for that was that they were actually friends. So they hung out before. They just had an understanding and a link. And that chemistry you could see on the pitch. So I think not only are Nico Williams and Yamal really good footballers, amazing footballers with a high eye test score, but they're actually friends. They actually get along together. They hang out together. And that chemistry they have off the pitch, you can see it on the pitch. So if you're a Barca fan, you're like, my gosh, if we can pull up with one guy on the right in Yamal, another guy in the left in Nico Williams, and we saw how they linked up for that goal in the final, bro, this is freaking heaven for Barcelona. And what even makes Barca fans even much more excited is if they're friends, that is an extra thing that may lead to Nico Williams wanting to join Barca over clubs because, bro, I'd rather play with my friend and a guy that I know and I know that I have a good link up with, that I can be friends with, than to a club where I don't know the guys there. So if you could go to a club where it works for you, but there's a guy there that you're friends with, oh, that's a huge job and a huge attractive notion for you. So, he's lied before. Yeah. We've been here before. Oh, yeah, Messi stay, Messi stay, yeah. Dude is freaking crying and can hardly hold his tears, and it's running. Laporta is the evil one. So I think everyone is like, well, is Laporta a liar? is this guy lying? Because he says that, oh, we can afford it. And everyone is like, are you sure you can afford it? And why should we believe you? So why should we believe you now when we know that you've told lies before? The release clause for Nico Williams, it is north of 100 mil. It's an expensive release clause to get him out of his contract. So even if they agree personal terms with him, they still need to agree they need to have the fee monetarily to give to Athletic Bilbao. So there is no good in agreeing the personal terms with Nico Williams if you can't give Bilbao the money that is required to get him out of his contract, i.e. the release clause, which is north of 100 mil. So again, we ask the question is, bro, what are you doing? You can't afford it. Bro, Bartomeu, who was sent by Florentino Perez, pretty much screwed you over and lubricated you financially from the inside. So why is this even a discussion? Step in Nike. So remember, La Liga clubs don't operate like the EPL clubs. EPL clubs, you can spend, bro, Premier League, if you find money under a pillow, you can just use that to finance any player that you want. You can find money on the road. Literally, you can literally find wads of cash on the road or in black bin bags and literally take a black bin bag of money you found on the road and use that to buy a player. That's how the EPL works. For La Liga, no, everything has to be relative. What you make, what your sponsors bring in, it has to be relative of what you spend. You can't spend more than you actually generate monetarily as an institution. So it's this whole 1v1 and everything has to correlate. For the EPL, costs, running revenue, the EPL is the Wild West. It's the Wild West where you can do whatever the heck you want. There are no checks and balances. There are checks and balances in La Liga. So the big thing for Barca is there is this huge, massive Nike deal. And if this Nike deal comes through, that is where they can get the money needed in order to financially make the Nico Williams deal happen. So let's do a bit of reading, shall we? Nothing wrong with a bit of rereading. So let me just expand this a little bit more so you can see. So Barcelona's finances are set to receive a massive boost this week. So this was back in June, with the club expected to announce a new mega deal with Nike. Multiple reports are claiming the deal is almost done and will see the Catalan giants sign. Okay, there we go. Okay, sign a 10-year contract with the American sportswear firm. Nike will pay Barca a renewal bonus that will be between 100 and 150 million euros, which would allow the club to return to the one-to-one rule according to Relevo. So remember, that's where everything has to be relative. Barcelona will then earn a fee in the region of 120 million euros per year, with various additional bonuses thrown into the mix too. Dare Sports say Barca could earn an extra 10 to 12 million euros for winning the Champions League, 5 to 10 million euros for La Liga, 2 to 5 for the Copa del Rey, and 1 to 2 for the Spanish Super Cup. So that is how this can be a reality. That is the way that this can be a reality, is that Nike deal. So if that Nike deal comes through and they get that 100, 120 mil or possibly even more, that is what they can use to financially get this through. But you've got to be quick, because you see now, this is where it now gets interesting. And no, so let me even leave this up. This is where it gets interesting. Premier League clubs are up in that piece. So that's why Deco was working really hard to try and agree personal terms with Nico Williams. Because here's the thing. Premier League clubs, bro, that's chicken change. For most Premier League clubs, that is chicken change. 120, 130, boom, it's easy. Remember, Premier League is a Wild West. You can get money under the table and use that to finance it. So that money under the table, is it? Whatever. But this is why I want to bring on this image. I think a key bargaining chip that I'm sure Deco will use for Nico Williams is you stay in Spain, stay in a league that you know, it is still Barcelona, and bro, play with your friend. You clearly get along with him. You clearly culturally are in sync. Come and chill with your friend. And if I'm Deco, I'll actually get Yamal on the phone. Yo, Lamine, come on, be an agent, try and entice him and coax him into why joining Barca is the right thing to do. So that could be the key thing. Now, here's my thing. As a football fan, what I like the most is competition. I hate a monopoly because monopolies are boring, which was the issue of the Bundesliga. One team wins all of the time. It was boring. You've got to respond. Barca needs to respond to this. Real Madrid's squad looks insane. It's freaking insane. And everyone is saying that if Carlo doesn't go back to back in La Liga, he should be sent to jail. Let's be like, if Carlo doesn't go back to back, 25 to life, in San Quentin, take away all his UCLs. I think everybody has agreed on that. So I think to make La Liga competitive, interesting, and to make that El Clasico really interesting, I actually would want Barca to get Nico Williams. So obviously, the selfish part of me is no. Nico, what's up, baby? Nico, what's up, baby? Come to your boy Chelsea and cook with Palmer. So the selfish part of me is thinking Nico Williams, Cole Palmer, Nkunku. Bro, that's an easy treble. Easy treble. But the football fan in me is it would be best if he goes to Barca because he could work very well in Barca. His link up with Yamal, it makes La Liga really competitive based on what Nico Williams provides that team. And El Clasico is going to be pop-off. Imagine an El Clasico where you have Mbappe, Bellingham, Vini, Yamal, Nico Williams, Pedri. Now, that is a very, very exciting El Clasico. So that is why I just think it would be great for La Liga and great for football if Nico Williams was to move to Barca. So look, it remains to be seen what happens. And so this is what I always say. So if I was advising Nico Williams, what should you do? If you're advising Nico Williams, I really do believe that based on the choices you have, I think Barca makes the most sense. Because for the Premier League is, whether it's a Chelsea, whether it's a Liverpool, there's the language barrier, there's the culture barrier, and I'm looking at all the different teams. I'm not sure whether there's a Premier League team where he will be as good a fit as he would be for Barcelona. I think the way Barca play, Barca's mindset, Hansi Flick's mindset, and how attacking Hansi Flick is and his experience already and what he did with Bayern Munich, I do believe that that style and that approach would suit Nico Williams far better. And I can just see Nico Williams fitting a lot better in that Barcelona team than I think he would fit in any Premier League team. So as much as I would love him for Chelsea, again, I've just got to be objective here as I know Barca makes more sense. And I think if I'm advising Nico Williams, bro, we just had a championship coach called freaking Mascara. So yeah, the selfish part of me is that you're coming to Chelsea. But if I'm advising him being objective, Chelsea is still a risk. It's still a risk. Whereas for Barca, it's Hansi Flick. It's a guy who won a freaking treble. And it's a team that has Pedri. It's a team that has Lamine Yamal. It's a team that has Fermin Lopez. So for Nico Williams, you are going into it where I know Fermin Lopez from the Spanish national team. I know Pedri from the national team. And I know Yamal. I'm good friends with Yamal from the national team. So the adaptation period will be next to none. It will be next to none because you're like, bro, I already vibe with a lot of these guys already. So it remains to be seen whether Barca will close. But if Barca do get this Nico Williams, that would be a huge, huge Dubinsky. But as always,